Are they starting?
Yeah, I think so.
They're going to start? Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Tornado calling a match. And let me explain what we have going on in front of us here. We have a technical difficulty with the camera, but we are getting started. So we are down to the bracket winners right here. So this is Pro Doubles Bracket C. And we have a match featuring Ryan Windsor and Isidro Herrera versus Jordan Camba and James Baldwin. And I believe Ryan Windsor and Isidro Herrera are in the king seat and need to be beaten twice. So after the first round, score that round 12-10. That's going to be 2 points in favor of Windsor and Herrera. Score of the match is 2-0 in favor of Ryan and Isidro. All right, Isidro buries his first bag. James throws a blocker. Isidro pushes through and goes in. James goes in again. Isidro throws a blocker, but it's out of the lane. James has a chance to bully it, pushes it out of the way. Isidro's going to try and maybe pull it back in the lane. Bounces off it and goes in. He gets to 10, and James hits the 4-bag at that time. Score the round 12-10. Score of the match is now tied at 2. All right, Jordan's first bag is hanging in a hole, and Ryan tries to push through it, but his bag kicks slightly left. Jordan tries to replace it, leaves a blocker in the lane, and Ryan stacks up on top of Jordan's blocker. Jordan pushes through, pulling his bag in play, back in the lane, and Ryan goes in. And Jordan going to try and pull his other bag here, and he hits it, gets both of them to drop. That's a really good bag right there. And Windsor comes down the lane, and we're going to score that round 12-10. 2 points in favor of Jordan that time. Score of the match is now 4-2 in favor of James Baldwin and Jordan Camba. James, first bag, goes in. Isidro throws a blocker to James' side. James throws a hanger to Isidro's side. Isidro pushes into his blocker. James tries to stuff the hole a little bit. He's ahead in the round at this point. Isidro goes for the airmail. He drags his bag and one of James's bag. Now Isidro has 2 bags hanging in hole, and James has a blocker out in front of him. The 2 bags that Isidro have hanging in the hole are pinned against each other and can easily be dragged in on an airmail. So Jordan is telling James to just blow through it and take it all. And his bag hits and kicks. He knocks 3 bags in. Isidro's in position to pick up 3, but instead he misses his last bag, lands on the board. He's going to pick up 1 point that time. Score of the match is now 4-3. We're going to score that round 10-9. Score of the match is 4-3 in favor of Jordan and James. Jordan going to have, Ryan's going to have first bag coming at us. He leaves a blocker to his side of the hole. Jordan pushes up into it. Ryan's going to bounce over it. Ryan tries to bounce over it, but he doesn't get the roll like he was hoping for. Jordan comes down the lane, pulls 3 bags in, 2 of his, 1 of Ryan's. Ryan leaves a blocker in the lane. Jordan's going to come through it. Jordan leaves a blocker in the lane. Ryan has a chance. Ryan jams it up, so if Jordan lands on the board, he's going to pick up 2. And he does. Score that round 8-6. 2 points in favor of Jordan Camba that time. Score of the match is now 6-3. James with first bag goes in. Isidro throws a blocker to James' side. James just airmails over the blocker. Isidro throws a bag that's hanging on the back. James just airmails between them. Great bag right there. Isidro says not this time. He throws a hanger, and it is so in the hole there's no way to airmail over it. And James throws a blocker to try to jam it all up, and Isidro throws an airmail. He gets 1 to drop. That's going to be a 5 spot right there. So score the round 10-5. Score of the match is now 11-3 in favor of Jordan Camba and James Baldwin. right, Jordan goes in with his first bag. Ryan throws a blocker to his side. Jordan goes around it. Ryan pulls his blocker in. Good hit right there. Jordan goes in. Ryan goes in. And Jordan's going to come down the lane, drop his last bag. He's going to get to 12. And Ryan's going to shoot a 12 as well. So a double 4-bagger right there. Score of the match remains 11-3 in favor of Jordan Camba and James Baldwin.
It's on, right? Yeah, that's good. That's excellent.
James goes in with his first bag.
Good work, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Definitely, I've been seeing your headshots, and it's definitely noticeable
James
now. I see you, man. That's a good job. Congrats.
Isidro throws a blocker, short of the hole. James airmails over it. Isidro kisses off his blocker and his bag goes in. James goes in with his last bag. Isidro's going to come down the lane and he misses. And that's going to be another 5 spot right there. So Isidro tried to sweep 2 bags in on his last bag, but he missed. And his bag goes off the back of the board. We're going to score that round 12-7. There's going to be 5 more points for Jordan and James. And they are now in the lead, 16-3. Jordan throws his first bag, blocker short of the hole. Ryan pushes up into it. Jordan pushes into the pile. Ryan comes down the lane, takes it all in, leaving one of Jordan's bags on the board. And Jordan goes off the back, and he's in position to give up 5 right here. Ryan goes in.
But Colton's the one that...
And Jordan tries to sweep his last bag in. He gets to 7, and Ryan's going to get to 10. Instead of getting 5 that time, he had an opportunity to get 5. Instead, he's only going to get 3. Score of the match is now 16-6 in favor of Jordan and James. Isidro with first bag. He goes in. James goes in. Isidro goes in. James goes in. Isidro goes in. James goes in. And Isidro goes in.
So much better of a fucking...
And James goes in. That is a double 4-bagger right there. So no points gained by either team. Score of the match is going to remain 16-6 in favor of Jordan and James.
We could drive the golf cart over to her house. I mean, it's only a couple streets away. Yeah.
Ryan's first bag goes in.
As long as you don't have conference calls.
Jordan throws a hanger to his side. Ryan throws a blocker center of the lane.
Paying for all this. Oh, I know, right? Conference call.
Jordan tries to push it all in. We get a couple of bags stuffed in the hole. Ryan throws a blocker, pushes it all in. Leaves a block behind. And then Jordan's bag hits and kicks. He's hanging on the back of the hole. He could probably still get it. Ryan throws a slide right down the lane. And he gets his bag. Jordan's going to just choose to not lay up, but he tried to slide his last bag in. His last bag doesn't go. We're going to score that round 12-8. Score of the match is now 16-10. So after being down 16-3, Ryan and Isidro have cut into the lead. Isidro with first bag. Isidro's first bag goes in. James goes in. Isidro throws a blocker. James airmails over it.
House side and sucks.
Isidro kisses off of his blocker and his bag sits on the back of the board. And James tries to go throw an airmail. His bag rimmed out and took Isidro's bag off. And James hits his bag. This might be game.
I was down near Fort Meade, which is more than...
James goes for the airmail and gets it, but pulls in Isidro's bag. He's still going to get 3 out of that.
Okay.
Score that round 9-6. Score of the match is now 19-10 in favor of Jordan and James. Ryan and Isidro are in the king seat and need to be beaten twice. If there is a game 2, we're going to stay live and go right through. Jordan's first bag goes in. Ryan throws a blocker.
What road is that off of?
I'm not sure where they're actually located. I know that it's somewhere over by BWI, but I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. They also, some of the people work out in Columbia. So, if I'm like, every time I get like the Western one,
All right, Jordan gets to 8. Ryan is at 5 right now. Ryan's going to bury 1 bag. And that is the match right there. So Ryan went for an airmail. He had 2 bags pinned in the hole.
he doesn't know
and he doesn't get anything to drop.
I like what you do. It's not
Hey,
bad.
Joe.
I'm not gonna tell you the people I don't like.
Would you mind just taking that pump?
Oh my gosh, sure.
Drown it, totally drown it.
Sure.
Thank you.
Actually, the part of Northrop Grumman wins for.
All right, so Jordan and James are going to win game 1, and so now we are down to the final match right here. So one of these teams will win their bracket. I believe this is the C bracket. All right, starting off game 2 right here, right now. James goes in, Isidro goes in. James got a hanger to his side of the hole. Isidro leaves a hanger, and James pushes through. Pushes Isidro's bag in. Isidro goes in again. James trying to get that last bag, and the airmail drags his bag to get to 12. And Isidro goes in with his last bag. We're going to wait for Josh Keck to finish his announcements. All right, so that was a 4-bag of wash, so no score after 1 round. This is frame 2 of game 2. Ryan comes down the lane. He pushes into the pile. He's got 3 bags sitting in the hole. Jordan figuring out what it is that he wants to do here. He's going to try and block. He gets to 8. Ryan's got to get a good push here. He's got to hit this thing and hit it hard to get it to go. He's got a couple of bags pinned in the hole. Comes down the lane and bounces off the back. That's going to be a 5 spot right there. So score the round 8 on 3. That's all right. It's 5. All right. So score that round 8 on 3. Score of the match is now 5-0 in favor of James Baldwin and Jordan Camba. James goes in. Isidro throws a block. James tries to get around it, but the bag kicks right. Isidro goes down the lane, pushes 2 bags in. James goes in. Isidro goes in. James goes in. He gets to 10. And Isidro's bag kicks to the right. Had a chance to pick up 2 points right there if he could have buried that last bag. We're going to score that round 10 on 10. Score of the match remains 5-0 in favor of Jordan and James. All right, Jordan goes in with his first bag. Windsor follows. Jordan throws a blocker. Ryan going to try and hop over it. Instead, he hops into the blocker. Both players have a bag in the lane. And Jordan pushes into the pile. And Ryan tries to airmail. He knocks 2 bags in. The bag he threw fell off, and Jordan's going to come down the lane. And he pushes one in, but he leaves a hanger. So Ryan has to airmail over this to cut it to 1. Or if he goes in with it, it's going to be 3. So Ryan lays up, and he gives up the 3. Score the round 10 on 7. Score of the match is now 8-0 in favor of Jordan Camba and James Baldwin. James' first bag goes in. Ryan goes in. James goes in. Isidro's bag is off to the right. James gets around it. Isidro pushes into the blocker. James in position to pick up 4 points right here. Pushes both bags out of the lane. Isidro comes down the lane. He's gonna get to 8. Score the round 12 on 8. That's 4 more points for Jordan and James. Score of the match is now 12-0 in favor of Jordan Camba and James Baldwin. Jordan's first bag is a blocker. A little bit out of the lane to Ryan's side. Ryan has room to get around it. Maybe bully the bag out of the way. Ryan pushes up into it. And Jordan pushes into Ryan's bag. Ryan goes for an outright airmail and hits it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he is.
Jordan goes for the airmail and he hits it. Ryan goes for an airmail and he hits it. Jordan goes for an airmail and he hits it. He's going to put the pressure on Ryan to hit another one, and he does. What a round that time. Woo! All right, score that round 10-8. Score of the match is now 12-2. Isidro at first bag going away. Isidro goes in. James follows. Isidro throws a blocker short of the hole. James pushes into the blocker. And Isidro knocks 2 bags in. His bag skips off to the right. His bag's on the board past the hole offside. Isidro gets to 10. And James is going to pick up 2 points right here. He buries his last bag. That's another 4-bagger out of Baldwin. He's going to pick up 2 that time. Score the round 12-10. Score of the match is now 14-2 in favor of Jordan and James.
The satellite was running wrong. So I didn't see her. She was ready to post, so I'm like, I'm going to ease up to the reception.
All right, Jordan Camba goes in.
Just as she reached
Ryan Windsor throws a blocker.
And then the radio comes on. She's standing
And
up.
Jordan pushes into the blocker. Ryan comes down the lane, jams up all the bags. Jordan's up by 2. Jordan pushes into the pile. Ryan's going to try and push through or airmail something. The airmails, he gets 2 bags to drop. And Jordan can get to 10. He drops 2 bags. He's guaranteed 1 point right here. Ryan comes down the lane. He goes in. We're going to score that round 10-9. That's going to be 1 more point in favor of Jordan and James. Score of the match is now 15-2. James throws a blocker center of the lane. Isidro's bag hits and kicks off to the left. So James pushes his blocker in and his bag kicks left. Now Isidro's going to hang her to the right. And James goes around it. Isidro comes down the lane, kisses off his own bag and goes in. And James throws an 8. And Isidro can pick up 2 right here. He's going to bury these 2 bags. He goes for the airmail. He gets an airmail drag right there. And we're going to score that round 10-8. We need a board adjustment here. All right, score the match 15-3. Windsor with first bag. He goes in. Jordan comes down the lane. He goes in. Ryan's third bag is offside, and Camba's able to push off of it and go in. Ryan goes in, he gets to 10. If Jordan can bury his last bag. Oh, had a chance to pick up 2. Instead, his last bag sits in the hole. We're going to score the round 10-10. Score of the match remains 15-3 in favor of Jordan and James. Isidro with first bag going away. His first bag is off to the right. James goes by it. Isidro tries to throw another blocker. He's got a hanger. James bounces off of Isidro's bag. Goes in. Isidro drops 2 bags. James is in position to pick up 2 points right here if he can hit a 4-bagger. And Isidro goes off the back, and James is in position to pick up 5 points right here. We're going to score that round 12-7. James is going to pick up 5 points, and the score of the match is now 20-3. Jordan comes down the lane and goes in. Ryan throws a blocker center of the lane. Jordan's bag kicks left. Ryan pushes through, he drops 2. Jordan goes in. Ryan goes in. Ryan's in position to pick up 2 points this round. Jordan gets to 10. And Ryan's going to get to 12. So that's going to be 2 points for Ryan and Isidro. A long way to go. Match is not over, but one mistake at this point could do them in. Score of the match is 20-5. Isidro with first bag going away. It's 20-5 in favor of Jordan and James. Isidro goes in. James goes in. Isidro goes in. James goes in. Isidro throws a blocker to James' side. James tries to airmail. His bag is sitting on the back of the hole. And Isidro gets to 10. And if James can airmail this bag and drag, that's going to be the win. He gets all of it to go. Pulls all of it. Both players shoot a 12 for that round. Round's going to wash out. The score of the match is going to remain 20-5 in favor of Jordan and James. And Ryan with first bag. Ryan's first bag's on the board. Blocker. Jordan's bag kicks off of Ryan. Ryan drops 2 bags. Jordan's bag is probably out of the lane. Not going to be able to pull it in. Jordan throws a blocker. Ryan tries to hop over it, but his bag kicks right. Seems a little frustrated about that. Got to play perfect here. Jordan comes down the lane, pulls his bag in the center. Ryan probably just go through it, take it in. Ryan pushes into Jordan's bag. Now Jordan can drop 2. He can win the match right here. And he doesn't. He hits the pile, but Jordan doesn't get the bag to drop. We're going to score the round 8-6. So Ryan and Isidro are going to pick up 2 points that time. Score of the match is now 20-7. Still in favor of Jordan and James. And Isidro throws a blocker. James steps out. James pushes into Isidro's bag. Isidro has the higher ground. Isidro throws a blocker. James probably going to airmail over this. Pulls Isidro's bag in. And Isidro airmails his bag, kicks off the back of the board. And James airmails. He is at a +3 right now, and his bag has the higher ground. His bag is closer to the hole. Isidro figuring out how he wants to play this here because he has a bag off the board. So he really needs to go in here. And he throws a bag, and that wipes out his own bag. And James has last bag, and for the statistical purposes of the match, James throws his last bag. He sweeps 2 in. And congratulations, James Baldwin, Jordan Camba. Thanks for drowning me out, Josh. Good job, my man. Good job. Bags. All right. We're going to be picking up Mike Herrera and Hasib Hababan at the conclusion of the losers finals bracket match. So just quickly, we have a match featuring Matt Sorrells and Noah Wooten versus Greg Geary and Jimmy McGuffin. So Mike Herrera and Hasib will face the winner of Noah and Matt versus Greg and Jimmy. That match is coming up next.